Tell people about how you came to support a one-state solution as opposed to a two-state solution.
Well, I was this liberal Zionist, and of course, the two-state solution is the only solution because I believed in the whole Zionist narrative. And then I can tell you exactly when that happened. It was 2005. And as some of the listeners may remember, 2005 was the beginning of what was called in Palestine the unarmed popular resistance, where every Friday all these villages and towns had unarmed protests. And they were met with enormous violence by the Israeli, enormous violence by the Israeli army, unbelievable. I participated in lots of those. And I went to Bilain, the village of Bilain, which is a village where they actually started this. And I was walking around with some of the guys in Bilain, and there was no wall yet. The wall hadn't been built. It was just a fence, and there was a settlement being built on their land, which ended up being on the other side of the wall. And so we were walking towards this settlement from the village, and I took a look at the settlement. It was a massive city. Billions of dollars invested in housing and roads and recreation and schools and shopping mall. It was a massive city. And I'm looking at this and I'm going, this notion that somehow settlements are going to go away, there's going to be a Palestinian state in the West Bank, is complete nonsense. So it's never going to happen. Nobody invests, no state, nobody invests billions and billions of dollars to build this new reality, to create this new reality, to colonize like this, and then leave. Nobody does that. It's never going to happen. Now I thought, actually, why two states? Why do they have to live in a different reality? The Palestinians that I was with, and I have to live in two different realities. Why do we not just have a single democracy with equal rights? And if somebody wants to buy their land and build housing, they build housing for everybody. Because Palestinians are prohibited from living in that settlement, in that city that was built on their land. Prohibited from even buying. They could bring money. They could, and they were prohibited from living in apartments and housing that was built on their land, that was stolen from their land, from them. It makes absolutely no sense. And then it's kind of like something clicked, and I got it. This is the whole idea of a two-state solution is a Zionist construct. It's how you delay. It's how you pretend that you want peace while strengthening the grip on Palestine and strengthening the grip on all the resources and keeping the Palestinians and keeping the rest of the world thinking that it's coming. It's just a question of finding the right leaders or the right moment. But really, the intention is there. And if you notice, Netanyahu didn't answer the question about the demographic problem, about the fact that Israel will be governing millions of Palestinians, and that there's already a Palestinian majority. There's already a Palestinian majority between the River Jordan and the Mediterranean in historic Palestine, which is now, of course, all a single state called Israel. It's the single apartheid state. So that was another moment where I realized, actually, it's already one state. The entire country is a single state. It's a single apartheid state where I have privilege and the Palestinians have no rights, regardless of where they live within the country, regardless of whether they're governed by the military in the West Bank or by somebody else or the Nakab or anywhere else or Jerusalem. They have no rights. So how does this even make sense? And that was the moment really for me. And I remember I came back and I wrote an article and I quoted Einstein. There's this famous story about Einstein where he gives a test and his assistant says, "But Professor, you already gave this test to the same class." And he goes, "Yeah, but the answers have changed." The answers have changed. The solution to solving, or the way to solve the question of Palestine is through a single democracy with equal rights. So that was my moment of, epiphany.